I have a little Jack Russell dog named Maggie, and she has a lot of energy. So when we go for walks, it's not uncommon for them to spread the 2 hour mark. This particular day, I got home from work around 5:30 and the sun doesn't usually set until 6:30 or 7. Almost immediately after walking through the door, I put her leash on and quickly changed, and then we headed out. The walk went as usual, as Maggie just took me in whichever direction she wanted to walk in. Things didn't start to take a turn until about an hour in, when the sun was almost fully down, and unfortunately for me, I had walked further. Then I realized if you take your dog for long walks, you know how easy it is to zone out, especially if your dog rarely stops to sniff. We had walked in the direction I had to take it normally, but the particular street I was on was unfamiliar, but I still knew the general direction home. I started to turn around, but Maggie was standing still, and then she began whimpering softly, and that's when I saw it. Through the soft light of sunset, I could make out a huge coyote staring at us in the middle of the street. It was roughly the size of golden retriever, with the matted fur and with its mouth partially opened. You could see its disgusting, sharp yellow teeth. I knew exactly what it wanted. I picked Maggie up and started walking the opposite direction. I was a bit fearful. For some reason, I thought it would just go away. I didn't know these streets very well, but what I didn't know was that I had to keep moving. As I quickly continued, the coyote slowly followed, keeping its distance still. But the darker it got, the more scared I became, and after walking down random neighborhood roads in the darkness for a while, I came to the horrifying realization that I was lost. All the turns had messed with my sense of direction, and I had no idea which way to go. Through the darkness, I could see the glowing eyes of the beast and could now hear it yipping and howling. As I walked further through the dark neighborhood streets, every few minutes another set of glowing eyes would appear behind me, and even more louder howls. I could tell they were getting closer too. I was absolutely terrified at this point, trying to back my tears as I was panicking and fearing for both mine and my dog's life. Every once in a while, I pass a street light and look behind me, revealing the entire pack walking slowly with their heads down, watching my every move. After almost 45 minutes of being followed, I began tiring, and I knew I was far from the safety of my home. Maggie began whimpering louder too, which made me even more emotional, as I knew that she was aware of what may soon happen. Howling and yipping became more frequent, growing louder and closer. I looked back one more time to see all their eyes staring at me from only 30 to 40 feet away. But suddenly and strangely, they all began to spread, moving to the side of the road. A few moments later, a small car slowly made its way between the crowd of coyotes and stops right next to me. A lady rolls down her window and asked me if I needed help. I was so thankful for her and told her to please take me home. There are almost no circumstances in which I would willingly get into the strange car, but I really had no other choice. The lady was really nice and seemed terrified for me. I was crying at this point, knowing I had just been moments away from a grueling attack. She kindly dropped me off at my house, which was almost 20 minutes from where she picked me up. I live in a nice neighborhood, one where you don't have to worry about your house being broken into or carjackings. The only growing problem in our neighborhood and many neighboring ones as well is coyotes. It's been a few years since this incident happened to me, and as the time went on, there became more and more showing up around town, getting bigger, stronger. The public knows to be cautious, especially in parks where there are tons of trees and place for them to make home. Signs were put up letting people know of the popular areas where anywhere between 3 and 20 have been spotted. There have been news stories coming out, such as groups of coyotes leaping over fences and taking small dogs, and larger animals being found torn apart in kids' parks. Very sad stories, and some even a little scary. But you never think of coyotes as being an immediate danger until you are being followed in the middle of the night by a pack of the hungry and merciless.